Listen closely and don't take this moment lightly. Take a deep breath, settle your energy, and be fully present, because what you're about to hear is not random. This message found you because it was meant to. And if you're watching this right now, it means the Gemini Supermoon is not finished with you yet. The first wave cracked the shell of who you used to be. But the second wave, the one rising right now, is different. It doesn't just shake the surface. It reaches into the hidden corridors of your mind, your nervous system, your identity, your memories, your habits, your intuition, and your destiny timeline. Before we go deeper, pause for one moment. Make sure you like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, and share this message, because someone else out there needs this guidance just as much as you do. You never know whose awakening you're helping activate. Now let's begin. Tonight, something begins moving through your field again. Not softly, not gently, not symbolically, but with the intensity of a cosmic verdict. The Gemini Supermoon isn't returning to repeat a message. It's returning to reveal the part of the message your system wasn't ready to hear the first time. Because the first wave shook your identity, but the second wave rewires it. And if you've been feeling emotionally raw, mentally overstimulated, physically tense, or spiritually ungrounded in the last 24 to 48 hours, this is exactly why. Gemini is not a passive energy. It is electrical, binary, hyper-intelligent. It merges logic with intuition, thought with truth, mind with spirit. And under a supermoon, when the lunar field amplifies every signal, Gemini hits you like a revelation disguised as pressure. You may feel like your thoughts are happening in layers, like you're having two conversations inside your mind at the same time. Your conscious voice and a deeper voice you didn't know existed until now. You might feel overstimulated, or like old memories are rising without permission. You might be having sudden flashes of clarity followed by intense emotional waves. You might feel like your brain is trying to show you something you've ignored for too long. You're not imagining this. Your mind is being rewired. The Gemini Supermoon is clearing outdated mental code, beliefs you inherited, patterns you absorbed, stories you carried out of survival, identities you clung to because they kept you safe. But safety is not the goal anymore. Alignment is. So the mind must shed its old architecture. And you may feel this as looping thoughts, intrusive insights, intuitive flashes, sharper sensitivity, sudden mental fatigue, bursts of psychic clarity, intense dreams, pressure at the temples, difficulty focusing on old routines, a sense that something is shifting but you can't name it yet. This isn't overthinking. This is decoding. Your mind is dismantling the version of you that was built on old stories and making space for the version built on truth. You may catch yourself confronting beliefs you didn't even know were still inside you. But Gemini doesn't just reveal your thoughts. It reveals the source of your thoughts. And once you see where your beliefs came from, a parent's fear, a teacher's criticism, society's expectations, a childhood wound, you cannot unsee it. That's why you're feeling everything so intensely. Now let's talk about the physical layer, the part no one warns you about. Because under this supermoon, Mercury's influence becomes physical. Your body becomes an antenna. Your nervous system becomes a transmitter. Your breath becomes a decoder. Gemini rules the lungs, arms, hands, shoulders, throat, and the entire nervous system. So these areas start to broadcast the truth your mind is only beginning to process. You may be feeling tight chest or difficulty taking a full breath, buzzing sensations in your arms or hands, neck and shoulder rigidity, throat tension or spontaneous swallowing, heart flutters or increased awareness of your heartbeat, nerve zaps, sudden shivers, disrupted sleep, sensitivity to sound, pressure behind the eyes, temperature fluctuations, random fatigue followed by random bursts of energy. This isn't malfunction. This is activation. Your system is releasing tension patterns you've held for years, especially patterns related to communication, self-expression, boundaries, emotional suppression, or the fear of speaking your truth. Every tremor is a memory loosening. Every sigh is a release of an old narrative. Every moment of exhaustion is your system resetting itself after years of emotional compression. Your body isn't betraying you. It's freeing you. And while your mind and body do their work, your spirit steps forward. This is the part most people misunderstand. Spiritual awakenings aren't peaceful. They are disruptive. They dismantle. They rearrange. They call your soul to the front lines of your life whether your ego is ready or not. And the second wave of this Gemini supermoon doesn't whisper. It demands. It demands truth. It demands alignment. It demands authenticity. It demands that you stop hiding from the version of you that you were always meant to become. You may feel a strange grief, not sadness, but the grief that comes from outgrowing a version of yourself that helped you survive but cannot help you evolve. You may feel detached from your old life, like you're watching it through a window. You may feel like your spirit is too large for the life you're still living. You may feel like the people around you don't recognize who you're becoming because they're reacting to the older version of you that no longer exists. This is the identity rupture. This is the spiritual activation point. This is the moment your soul starts pulling you faster than your comfort zone can hold you. You may feel called to change how you speak, how you think, how you show up, how you dress, how you express yourself, who you connect with, what you tolerate, and what you allow. Gemini is identity in motion, shape-shifting, evolving, updating. So when a Gemini supermoon hits, timelines begin to rearrange themselves around you. You may sense multiple potential futures flickering at the same time, as if your reality is shifting frames, presenting you with pathways that didn't exist before. This isn't confusion. This is acceleration. And once the emotional debris settles, something else begins to surface. The prophecy of this supermoon. Identity breakthroughs. Timeline collisions. Destiny markers. This is the trifecta you're entering now. Your identity begins to shed instantly. Things you tolerated for years suddenly feel impossible to accept. Desires you once chased feel empty. Goals you once clung to feel irrelevant. You start making choices that your old self would never dare make. This is not instability. This is rebirth. Then come the timeline collisions. People from the past, unfinished conversations, old memories, unresolved stories, they all resurface. Not to pull you backward, but to collapse old timelines so your new trajectory can stabilize. The universe removes the versions of the future that no longer align with who you are becoming. And then, destiny markers ignite. Repeating numbers, dreams, symbols, synchronicities, sudden intuitive knowing, spiritual chills for no reason, words that feel like messages, songs, signs, patterns that follow you. This is orchestration. This is spiritual engineering. This is alignment being enforced in real time. Your spirit is rearranging your reality. And when Gemini reaches its second peak, something else happens. Something deeper. Your inner voice stops whispering. It starts pulling. It becomes magnetic, directive, uncomfortable to ignore, impossible to silence. This isn't imagination. This is recalibration. This is the moment where awareness becomes embodiment, where knowing becomes action, where intuition becomes instruction, where fear becomes friction, and friction becomes movement. And because this shift is so powerful, I want you to remember this. You cannot return to who you were before this supermoon. That version of you has expired. It served its time. It carried its purpose. And now it must dissolve. You are stepping into a version of yourself who speaks differently, thinks differently, notices differently, decides differently, chooses differently, loves differently, and walks differently. And the people around you may not understand, because they are responding to the old you, the version that existed before this cosmic rupture. But your soul understands. Your body understands. Your intuition understands. Your future understands. The timeline you've been sensing, the one that feels close but not fully visible, is already adjusting itself to meet the person you are becoming. And now, before we end, do one thing to anchor this shift. Type in the comments, "I am becoming who I was meant to be." Write it. Speak it. Claim it. This is your declaration to the universe. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this message so it reaches the souls who need it. Because the next phase of your life has already begun. and your spirit is leading the way.